Look around you. At your planet. Chaos and division are ripping every aspect of your world apart. Religion, the bankers, the political elite. Who can you believe in? We only have ourselves and the hope we cling to that if we can make some sense of who we are, then just maybe we'll find clarity.
The whole world is a stage. Each of us playing the lead in our own little production.
We have our costumes, our soundtrack, each moment, a memory recording the history of our performance.
Memories. They hold all the things we've done to become who we are. Through them, we remember family and friends, people we've met, and places we've visited along the way. Memories. Summoned with a thought. They're there in our head, and that's where we imagine they're stored.
But what if that isn't the case? What if, by remembering, you're making a connection through time and space to the actual moments the memories were made?
Mirrors really are portals to dimensions beyond time and space. A child doesn't recognise its own mirrored reflection until it's around 18 months old.
Imagine that you experience the world with no perception of who or what you are. You simply observe with no sense of self.
Then one day, in a mirror, you see someone who looks and moves how you'd always imagined you do. You advance towards one another, mesmerised, in a perfectly choreographed dance, oblivious of the evolutionary leap you're about to make. In an instant, you become self-conscious. In an instant, you become the child that recognises itself for the first time. In that moment, you move seamlessly from one dimension to another, from being one with it all to being you. It is as though you've stepped through the looking glass. Every person who has ever walked on this planet has made that transition. Few find their way back, even though most of you will spend your lives trying.
You'll believe in all manner of religions and spiritual ways. You'll follow many masters and gurus. They'll occupy you. You'll believe them. For a while, some of you won't get past them. Some of you will just settle out of apathy.
Of course, some of you will go deep. You'll start looking within. But when the stress and the chaos of your everyday existence becomes too much, you'll take every sweet the Candyman has to offer. And if that doesn't do your head in, you'll find yourself here, in the looking glass, wondering who the fuck you really are. And who you really are? That's what we're here to show you. First of all, you need to understand time.
Time is an illusion. It is simply a concept used to measure your life.
The series of events you know as your life. All your nows, you imagine as slices of time. Yes, you get to choose your future slices of time.
And maybe you believe you're in control of your choices, but that's an illusion too.
You see, the perception you have of yourself limits the options open to you.
which leaves you few real choices at all. Who would instigate such a cruel mind game?
Anyone that reinforces your current perspective, that you are separate from the universe. And that includes you. You are the one who constructed this illusion. It only exists in your mind. And that's where we have to go to remove it. To get into your mind, we're going to use light. We're going to show you how you and light are fundamentally made out of the same stuff. It is science, but it's simple science, so stay with us.
When a boat moves through water, the pointy end makes a bow wave. Our planet is like a boat. As it moves through space, it makes a bow wave. This we know because the bow wave bends starlight, which means that our planet, space, and light are all interacting together, which means that at some fundamental level, they must be made of the same stuff. You can prove this for yourself with a simple thought experiment.
We're going to give some hypothetical matter. You. The same properties as light. I want you to imagine that every particle in your body is vibrating. Faster and faster you go, heading toward the speed of light. As your speed increases, everything around you will begin to slow down, until eventually everything will appear to be frozen in time. This happens because you're vibrating at the same speed as the light that's illuminating everything. But you're not stopping here. On you go, vibrating faster and faster, beyond the speed of light, towards the speed of light, times the speed of light. Now you're seeing the things that the light illuminated yesterday. From your imagined perspective, this gives the illusion that time and space are running backwards. Your life, your birth, our history, dinosaurs, the forming of our planets, our universe, all the way back to the moment before the massive expansion that our scientists call the Big Bang.
Here, all the matter that forms the universe is in its most fundamental state. Here, you are a quantum particle. You consist of only one thing, and to take a measurement in either time or space requires 2 points of reference. Here, there is only one. Here, time and space cannot be measured. Here, they do not exist. It's peaceful here, and we could spend some time here, but of course, time doesn't exist. So let's create it.
In an instant, the quantum particle expands, pulling its combined mass with it. This expansion creates great heat that welds some of the particles together, creating the three-dimensional matter from which measurements can be taken. Time, space, your history, your story has begun. Almost 14 billion years later, some of the quantum particles have welded themselves together to become the elements and compounds, the stars and planets, and against all odds, the highly evolved life form that is you.
Although spread across time and space, the fundamental characteristics of the quantum particle remain the same as before the Big Bang.
You're connected through waves of vibrating particles to everyone who has ever or will ever exist.
Within them, time and space do not exist, and they permeate everything.
Now, here's where you'll have to do some lateral thinking. If the quantum particle connects you to all the yous you've ever been, or ever will be, then what would be the point of memory being stored in your brain?
The brain is an interface with quantum waves that connects with both your past and futures. It is not a closed repository of stored information.
The quantum waves collapse upon observation in your brain, becoming your thoughts, memories, and dreams.
They spark you with their action, with the flashes of intuition, or make you wonder a chance of coincidence with spooky instances of synchronicity. They'll stop you in your tracks with the moments of déjà vu. They account for gods and ghosts and all manner of metaphysical conundrums, created by your insistence that you are separate from the universe.
Of course, you'll want scientific proof of this mysterious particle that connects everything in the universe, and quite rightly so.
The scientists at CERN are currently focusing their largest piece of kit on doing just that. The sad thing is that Einstein made us aware of our connection 100 years ago. Back then, he called it space-time. Unfortunately, he couldn't grasp its full potential, which means our culture has wasted 100 years under the divisive illusion that we're separate from the universe. 100 years of pain and destruction could have been avoided. Everything is connected. Everything you do to others and our planet is reflected in who you are.
Every spiral of despair, every chasm of emptiness, even in a person you've never met. Through your connection, you feel their pain, and your world becomes a darker place. It's easy for us to deny them, to look away. We say, so what? Connected implies the possibility that I can be disconnected. But that's like your ego denying your reflection in the looking glass.
Relax. Give the theory some time. Think about it from another perspective. Well, in fact, the only other perspective. And when you do, you'll see yourself as much, much more. You aren't simply connected to the universe.
You are the universe. The universe experiencing life as a human.
There's nothing mystical about it. It's just biology, physics, and knowing yourself.